Alrighty, so, well, that was actually kind of going into one of my questions here, and all right, well, formal introduction here. This is the third part to the Final Fantasy forum. Basically, just doing odds and ends here, and I've mentioned to you guys before, I actually do have written questions these times, and what you guys were talking about earlier actually comes rather close to one of them. So I'm just going to go ahead with the tough one here. What do you think is the game's strong points? Or strongest points?
Oh God,
Don't all jump out at once.
it looks nice.
Yeah, it looks really
It
nice.
looks real
Although
good.
the first time I played it was on a 360, so
I played it on a
You,
360.
sir, why would you do that to yourself?
it looks so much better on the PS3.
It
Does
does.
it?
Plus, you don't have so many discs to mess around with.
But
Oh,
is the
God.
PlayStation 3 version only one disc?
Yes.
Yes.
Wait,
Is-
you played on the 360 version as well?
Yeah, I don't have a PlayStation 3. I just have a 360.
Jesus.
So
Nobody
many
on
fucking
Vine's has
discs.
their 360. Or, not 360, but a PS3.
No, I have a PS3 now. As soon as I got my PS3, I stopped using my 360 altogether.
Yeah, I have Vinny syndrome where all my friends in high school had 360s and they're like, dude, you gotta get the Halos. And so I went out and I bought the Halo.
Anyway, so that's all that comes to mind is
My
Well-
favorite
graphics.
zone was Nautilus, just for how beautiful that zone was. I still can't get over how great that zone was.
I'm trying to remember. Yeah,
That
yeah,
was
I guess
the
you're
theme
right.
park.
That was a rather neat looking place.
Theme park was cool.
Yeah, that was the Nautilus.
It looked really nice.
But yeah, that's the nicest thing I'll say about the game is it looks really
Uh,
That is
Yeah,
but-
literally the nicest thing I'll say about it.
but that's like saying.
I guess if you like the story, it's a really
oh, I've started
fleshed
liking
out
the story after,
story?
as soon as I played 13-2. I yes, I actually did get 13-2. It was $15 at Best Buy one
Oh,
weekend,
God.
and my internet was out, so I was like,
He's basically.
all right.
foreshadowing to
No,
the
seriously,
fact
this
that-
is how it went down. It's like, all right, well, okay, Sin and Punishment, Star Successors. That's $5. Let's get that. Let's see, Metroid Other M, $5. It can't be too terrible for that.
He actually
price.
played Other M. That's the punchline to this conversation.
Yeah, that's my next series actually.
The funny
So
thing
I'm gonna
is,
make a
though,
plug
is
for that.
I had internet on my phone, but my home internet was gone, like completely gone
no,
the other
here's-
day.
but
And
here's
so
the
I
main-
went out and I bought a bunch of bad games.
Well, no, I don't have a smartphone, so. But here's the thing, okay? I got Sin and Punishment Star Successor for $5. I got Metroid Other M for $5. I found out that Metroid Other M is. I'm still debating if it was worth it that much. Anyway, and then 13-2, $15.
How could you possibly say no?
Well, exactly,
No, I-
because it wasn't me who was buying the games. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and write out say it was okay. My mom offering it to buy them because okay we had nothing, or we didn't really have too much to do on a weekend considering okay, our internet provider also,
Is it your cable provider too?
Well, no, it was I have Verizon Fios, so that's our internet, phone, and TV all in one.
Oh,
So yeah.
okay. Yeah, that sucks.
I'm with
So it's like-
Comcast. I have Xfinity, so I have everything on one. So when the cable goes out, click the phone, no dial tone. Go to the internet, no internet. Oh
Yeah.
boy!
That's
Yeah.
how I am too.
So yeah, so 13-2 story.
You know what the best thing about 13.2 was?
What?
The collector's edition. It is a book. Literally. You open it up. It's a book of discs.
Personally,
It's-
I'm of the opinion that the best thing about 13-2 is the monsters.
Those
Like-
monsters. All of my monsters have an orange messenger cap on them. Because putting an orange messenger cap on a phalanx mech is the most adorable thing possible.
Yeah, but seriously, I'm honestly of the opinion that I care more about the monsters than Noel or Sarah. I'm not even joking. I'm serious. I am dead freaking serious
That's
here.
exactly how I was with Tales of Symphonia 2, because they did the exact same thing where you only had like one human playable character and the rest of the rest of your party members were monsters. And I was the exact same way. I was like, I don't care about any of these people.
I mean, seriously, how can you care about them when you actually have, or when you've tamed a Gigantor? I mean, you have a giant dancing cactus buffing you up to fight. I don't care what's going on in the fight there, okay? He's the only one I'm caring about right now.
Animals are way more endearing than people will ever be.
But yeah,
Oh my
so
God.
any other strong points about 13? Got to get back on topic, you know. I mean, any interesting battles? I mean, fights.
Well, that's why Chocolina was the most endearing character pre Final Fantasy XIII too.
Yeah.
Chocolina was the best fight phase
For the
of their
people who
main
are
character.
eventually going to see the video of this, the punchline is she has a terrible voice.
Oh, that sucks.
And the
That
second
voice.
punchline is that Chocolina is the Chocobo chick.
And she can't do anything without doing terrible rhymes.
Oh God, is that another thing?
That's
no,
another
she
thing.
doesn't
I
rhyme all
didn't
the
know
time.
about the rhymes.
She doesn't rhyme all the time.
She tries to rhyme. She makes a valid
No,
attempt.
what she tries to do is try to sneak in saying Choco, Boko, or Lena somehow in her sentences. Sometimes all three at once. Alright, well, since we can't think of much for strong points, I guess that moves into the next one, which you guys were talking about before I recorded, and I'm kind of regretting not recording. But what are the weakest points?
Story, characters.
Oh, no. After I played 13-2, the story is one of Final Fantasy XIII's strong points.
I'm gonna have to.
I'm tainted. I can't say anything about that because I haven't played 13-2, so I'm still of the opinion that it's really bad.
Okay, here's the thing. When you have a story point, plot point, whatever, in your game where you're trying to get rid of a time paradox by,
causing time paradoxes.
Well, I'm actually talking about the proto-fal'C. You remember that part?
No. Yeah, I know the proto-fal'C.
Yeah, okay. Here's the thing. You first meet the proto-fal'C in the future. Well, now you got to go back in the past to try and destroy the proto-fal'C. Well, proto-fal'C knows about you from the future or whatever and is going back in the past to protect itself and then goes into the future and whatnot. So basically, it's able to create a constant time loop to ensure endless copies of itself.
Shit. Razzle, do you remember the artificial fal'C I told you that has a connection to Hope?
Yeah.
Guess how you defeat it?
Proto-fal'C.
What?
That's the
proto-fal'C.
proto-fal'C.
Why?
Anyway, here's the thing though. You want to know how you finally destroy it?
You don't destroy it. That's the thing. You keep fighting it over and over.
Well,
and
no.
over.
There's actually a way you finally resolve it, and it's the stupidest
by
thing ever.
cutscene.
It's like It's like you have Sarah try and stab it, while she's shouting at Hope, who at this point has actually been killed by the AI and its machines. And somehow he picks up on this in the past because he has this thing that they dug up called an Oracle Drive that shows prophecies of the future. And since Sarah and Noel have been resolving paradoxes in the future, he saw Sarah shouting at him for making machines and the proto-fal'C. And that causes him to reevaluate the whole, let's make another fal'C. And they decide, oh, hey, this is actually going to kill everyone, so let's not do it. And that finally destroys the proto-fal'C.
You know what the worst part of the proto-fal'C was?
What?
That entire city in the where they're just spawning all the fucking
Oh my
Seath.
god, I hated that.
Just Seath, goddamn everywhere.
But let's go back to Final Fantasy XIII. What are the
Yeah,
weakest points?
we need to do
Yeah,
that.
what? I don't know.
As I said before the call, lack of emergent gaming.
There was nothing to do in that game.
Like,
Yes.
literally, you had the story and then the missions, and there was literally no exploration. There was some exploration, I will give it that, because I will tell you, I searched Pulse high and low for anything that would be
Interesting.
unique or
Possibly
interesting.
missable.
Possibly missable, and there was
And
not
you were
a
searching
single
desperately
fucking
for
thing.
fun,
Yeah,
and it was nowhere to be found.
nowhere to be found.
Yeah,
You know, I
no,
should probably move these screen regions because all these names keep popping up.
Like, one of my favorite things in gaming is going around and finding like little stuff that the
Yes.
people who made the game have put
Yes.
Yeah,
I mean, that's
You
like
don't
a
even
staple of an
realize it.
RPG, and it's just not in there.
yeah, like I said, Final Fantasy XII, there were ways you could sequence break the game. You didn't have to do a glitch or anything. It was just in the game and possible to do, but it was just hard to figure out how to. Like, in one area, you had to, like, rent a chocobo and take it, like, all the way across the world in a really short amount of time. And it was hard to do, but it was possible. And if you managed to...
He cut out. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh, man. He cut out.
Razzie.
Razzie?
Oh, it was
Razzie?
getting good.
Oh, crap. Well, there's a problem with this call. Well, I guess I'll pick up the slack while he's getting back online. I mean, in Final Fantasy VII, okay, despite the story being, you know, kind of shepherding you from one place to the next, I mean, when you think about it, in regards to moving from point A to point B, Final Fantasy VII and 13 aren't that different. However, in 7, there was still a lot more things to do.
Yeah.
And you could actually go off and explore and find all these things. The game didn't necessarily tell you about these things. I mean, you just kind of had to mess around and find them. Like, okay, I'm pretty sure, okay, half of your materia comes from just, like, you know, finding them in odd places. And then there's, like, all these different boss fights that there was no other way you could find out unless you, like, did some insane stuff. Like, I'm pretty sure... I'm not sure if any of you remember this, but there was actually one fight that required you to dip your hands in a hot spring, then go into a cave, find this one woman who was, like, covered in frost or whatever, and if you touched her after you dipped your hands in the hot spring, she would, like, yell at you and then fight you, and it turns out she was like a monster.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's stuff like that.
Yeah.
Or, you know, the
fun
golden...
stuff.
like, everyone knows the golden chocobo.
Yeah, like, no one told you about the Golden Chocobo. There was literally, like, nothing in the game even hinting at the fact that that was something you could do. You just had to kind of figure it out.
It's like, also, I guess I want to say that, I want to say something in regards to, like, the actual graphical designs, like, you know, anime and character designs, but it's just like, they don't really leave too much of an impression on you, don't they?
I think another weak point that sort of ties into the accessibility of emergent gameplay in Final Fantasy XIII is its transportation system. Like, you go to the save points and then you can transport to another save point, but they always put them in the worst places.
Well, it's not even save points. It's actually separate from that.
Oh.
You had the Seath Waystones.
Oh yeah, the Seath Waystones.
I mean, if they actually did it by save points, that would have made the game a whole lot easier to get around.
Yeah, instead they put them in these backwards places. Like, I remember one place to fast travel to. You had to go, if you wanted to get to this one part of this mission, that's all the way over here. The closest one, or teleporter sea stone was way, way over here, and you had to walk all the way over here through all of these mobs, and it took an hour to get to this one spot, and it annoyed me so many times.
Yeah, you want to know something? You know, it's like there was a item you get from a quest that enabled you to ride on the chocobos, right?
Yeah.
And they called it the Gissel Reins, or not Gissel Reins, Gissel Reins.
Yeah.
And after a while, I was kind of wishing it was more of a Gissel Whistle. So that, I mean...
So that you could actually call one instead of trying to find the damn chocobo?
Exactly. That was so freaking annoying. Especially after some parts where you, like, okay, you try and go someplace, and, like, when you try and go into another area, the chocobo bucks you automatically.
Yeah.
I mean, to be honest, okay, there is some, albeit very limited, emergent gameplay, and that's in the form of hidden boss fights and hidden enemies. Like,
The Cactar.
Cactar. You had to unlock the Cactar by actually exploring a bit and using a chocobo to get on a cliff.
Like, at the time of me finding the Cactar, I had no idea there was a Cactar. And that actually made me have a lot more hope for Final Fantasy to continue on, because when I found little Cactar, I was like, wait, what's this? And then I start seeing them everywhere. I'm like, oh my god, I unlocked something. This is actually pretty awesome.
Well, I was actually kind of spoiled on the the Gigantar. Like, it was like way, way back when the game was released, and well, actually, that was only 2 years ago, wasn't it? Anyway, someone posted a link in these odd forums that I used to go to, and it was like a post to the Gigantar fight. So it's like, oh, so they have that in there. That's kind of cool. But when I got there, it's like, okay, where is he? And let's see. You can fight against Tomberries, but I don't think you really unlock them, do you? Well, I guess you do and you don't. It's that they spawn in certain predetermined areas. And by certain predetermined areas, I mean one. And that's in a group of 3 in Titan's Trials.
Oh god, 3 Tonberries.
Yeah, I actually remember the target time for that. And it was a battle that was supposed to take 41 minutes and some odd seconds. I did that
I remember this fight.
And I did it in round 3. I was like, and when I first saw the target time, I was like, holy shit, they do not seriously expect me to spend nearly that much time.
You
on
probably
that fight.
have used the paradigm system the correct way. Just how you can cheese Orphan in 2 minutes.
I kind of cheesed the fight by just using a summon right off the bat. Wait, no. I think what I did was I like threw on all these shrouds and then like staggered one and then beat the crap out of it and then went to work on the others, and basically I just kind of gamed the system a little.
I got a question.
What?
I never actually summoned it, but what did Hope's summon do?
That's a good question because I never summoned Hopes either.
It does about the same thing that like all the other summons do.
I mean, I actually saw a video of all the summons and their transformations. Basically, what Hope's summon Alexander does is, okay, obviously in his normal form, he's, Alexander, he's the big giant golem, beating the crap out of everyone.
And then
when
he
he transforms,
castle wall.
Yeah, he turns into a giant-ass castle wall that, like, has, like, earthquake generators or whatever. It just repeatedly stomps the ground and also fires turrets.
So it actually did stuff.
It's just a really weird-ass transformation. Which is kind of a shame considering how cool Alexander was in, previous Final Fantasy games whenever you summoned him.
Yeah.
Like, how it'd just be like this giant castle giant just coming out of the ground and firing a laser and then...
I still think the best Eidolon is Brynhildr.
You know what? I think you might be right, because Brynhildr's transformation doesn't suck nearly as bad. You know what? Let's go ahead. Let's rank the transformations.
Oh,
All right.
God. I don't even remember any of them.
Yeah,
I
Alexander.
I used each one literally once.
Alexander, I'm gonna put at the bottom because I never. Well, I don't know. I kind of want to put Bahamut at the bottom because his transformation's kind of stupid. Because it's like first starts out, dragon and all, and when you transform, like his head becomes his tail and his tail becomes his head. So, yeah.
What about Hecatomacula or whatever it's called?
Hecatonchir?
The Vanille's sexual transformation.
I'll rate him Alexander tier, which puts him one level above Bahamut. Let's see, Odin. Odin
was quite useful to me.
Yeah, but the transformation for Odin was kind of a letdown. Because
I didn't like the horse. It didn't suit lightning.
Yeah. So I'll put that like mid tier. Snow's was the Shiva sisters.
Snow's transformation was awesome. The two Shiva sisters turning into the bike.
Yeah, Shiva sisters, Stria and Nyx. And then
I'm sorry, but one of the best cutscenes in that game is when Snow just comes out of nowhere on the ice highway.
Oh yeah,
I love
and it's
that.
like it's pretty much like
Michael Bay
I know the
presents
lines.
Final Fantasy XIII.
Wait, what was that? I missed
Michael
it.
Bay presents Final Fantasy XIII.
Oh Christ!
That joke.
I know.
Will never get old.
It was like actually that reminds me of another line from one of Michael Bay's Transformer movies. Okay, you remember Jazz?
Why
like
would I
from the
remember
first
Jazz?
Transformer?
I've never
Remember
actually
his
seen
first line?
Transformers.
Remember his first line? Okay, Jazz's first line in Transformers was "Sup, little bitches." That was pretty much Snow's line. They didn't actually write that in, but that was pretty much what he was saying. Everyone
Jazz
in that
racist
game
in
was
the
thinking it.
Transformer movies?
Jazz is as black as you can possibly imagine.
Did he die first, at least?
He died in the final battle.
It's like,
Oh,
you want a
man.
piece
You know
of me?
how he
No,
dies?
I want
Megatron
two.
grabs him out of the sky and just rips him in two. That's death. Nothing epic. He
I was
just
like-
grabs him, rip.
Well, no. They had like two final lines. It's like, Jazz said, "You want a piece of me?" Megatron's like, "No, I want two," and then just rips him in half.
Did they play like bow, 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 and have this like text the screen say, "That's so Megatron"?
Oh, that would have been perfect. Oh, Jesus Christ. Ah.
The cube.
That's what I think of like every time Snow does something like after he stops crying and terrifying.
That's so Snow.
Oh, Snow.
Crying, depression. All right, guys, let's do it. That's
Yeah.
so Snow.
Oh, Snow.
Oh, we need to make
Seriously,
like one of those old timey show themes from. It's like whenever he does something, it's like that's Snow.
Snow is Tifa from the Ego Raptor Final Fantasy VII video.
Sarah, Lucrezia, Eris.
Yeah,
Sweet.
everyone else is Cloud and Vincent.
Oh God, you are so
Oh,
right.
no! I can do one better. It's like Sarah, Dajh. Oh, no one laughed at that. I'm blank. All right, so we got like.
Okay, hold on,
Brynhilde
before
is
I-
obviously at the
the
top.
crystal.
Brynhilde's at the top.
I can't put my dick in that. Let's go say.
Oh, Jesus
You said
Christ, I
something
think this might be
earlier
the
about
best
if we had
recording
any
we've done.
qualms with the character design. And
Oh,
I
okay.
have a qualm with all of Final Fantasy's character design. Like across
Alright,
all
well,
of the
pick
games.
one of the worst. One of the worst in 13.
Except for Zaz.
Except for, well, not even that. Because it's not a complaint with any particular person. It's
Oh,
like
come on,
in
man.
any Final Fantasy game where they have a character who's not supposed to be from like the continent/planet. Like I'll use Fang. Like
Well, Fang actually did look like she wasn't supposed to be there because her clothes really contrasted.
I don't know. Like
Yeah,
But,
Fang
like,
actually
She's
contracted.
wearing pretty much like a toga or whatever.
like, oh, Snow saying to Vanille, like, wow, you're dressed really weird. I was like, look at what you're wearing. Or
I'm
like,
wearing,
Yeah, I mean,
French
Vanille actually looks like she could
gloves.
pass for someone on Cocoon. Fang
like
kind of differs.
my biggest complaint was like with Titus in Final Fantasy X, Waka telling Titus he was dressed funny. Was like, look at you, look at your hair. What right do you have anyone to tell that they're dressed weird?
You know what Waka would say to that?
Brother.
He would say, "Bite my shiny middle ass."
Johnny
And
Maggie.
here's the joke: they're the same voice actors. I mean,
It's weird.
Oh God, I did not know.
Yeah.
oh, you didn't know that?
That's
That Bender
forever
shared the same
ruined
voice actor
for
with.
me.
I was only able to tell it one part during the game. I was like, oh god, it's Bender.
That's
Yeah.
like me watching Study stream the Lollipop Chainsaw and not hearing Timmy Turner.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Tara Strong, the voice of the main character in Lollipop Chainsaw is Timmy Turner.
Oh my god, that's weird.
And she also plays a role or two in My Little Pony. I mean, whatnot.
How would you know about that? I didn't know that.
She also voices Bubbles from the Powerpuff Girls.
I guess,
She
yeah.
also does a few voices from Metal Gear Solid.
She's this
She's like the female Steve Bloom.
yeah, that's what I was going to say. She is the female Steve Bloom.
They didn't have a lot of really popular voice actors in Final Fantasy XIII.
In fact, didn't she do a Final Fantasy voice?
I want to say yes, because okay, what
Was it
hasn't
Riku?
Terra been in? But let me be all professional here.
I know
Oh, cool.
Titus was James Arnold Taylor.
I'm gunning for.
Final
I'm gonna
Fantasy
say it
X.
was. I'm saying it was Riku, Final Fantasy X.
I think
Alright,
you're
let
right.
me-
Yeah, it
let me-
is. It's Riku from Final Fantasy X.
Yeah.
Wait, that's who she voiced?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you know what? You guys keep on talking. I'll look up voice actors for 13.
It sounds just like her.
Yep.
But
Final-
did you like do any research on Final Fantasy XIII before it like came out in the United States? Like I had seen the Japanese release trailer, and let me tell you, I like when I saw Snow first, I was like, oh man, they're doing some crazy character design with Snow. He looks like a hooligan. He looks like Kanji from
I
Persona
only
4, except
really-
Persona 4 wasn't out yet, so it was crazy and different.
Honestly,
I
I
only
bought
really
it 'cause
saw-
it was Final Fantasy.
Well, okay,
I
that's
only
true.
really
did
saw
too.
Lightning's character design. I mean, I saw bits and pieces of 13, but to be honest, I wasn't too interested because at that time I did not own a PS3, and it wasn't until last year that I actually owned one, and I got Final Fantasy 13 for my birthday 3 days later.
Oh.
So,
But yeah, like I saw Snow's character design, like I saw drawings, and I was like, whoa, they've got some bold character design going with Snow.
Do any of you guys know a Troy Baker?
Troy Baker, yeah, he did Kanji in Persona 4.
Well, apparently
Yeah.
he also voiced Snow.
Yep, see, there we go. I told you. And
let's see,
I was like super excited.
You know what?
about
Let me
it.
just go ahead and list off the voice actors. Okay, we got Ali Hillis, who does Claire Farron, aka Lightning.
And
Troy
Ray
Baker
Grace.
is Snow Villers. We have Georgia Van Coilenberg, I don't know, who does Vanille. Reno Wilson for Saz. Vincent Martella for Hope Estime. Rachel Robinson for Fang. Laura Bailey for Sarah. Don't know who this character in the game is. McQuee, whatever. These are all members of Nora. So let's see.
Oh,
I'm not even gonna bother with character names. So Daniel Simonis, Zach Hanks, Andy Mecca.
yeah, the only person I recognize is Troy Baker. And the funny thing is
Jeff
that like
Fisher, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, Andre Sugli Uzo.
Troy Baker in Final Fantasy XIII
Connor
didn't sound
Villard.
anywhere close to what he sounded like in Persona
Connor
4.
Villard for Dajh. And finally, John Curry,
Yeah, I don't recognize any of them
except for Troy Baker.
except for Troy Baker. And like I said, I thought Troy Baker sounded much more like a punk type of person in Persona 4. Because when I heard Troy Baker's voice for Final Fantasy XIII, I was like, what is he doing?
All
When
right,
I
so
saw Snow, the immediate thing I thought was, okay, like you said, he's going to be a hooligan.
Yeah.
Like, I expected him to be the equivalent to Axel from the Kingdom Hearts series.
Yeah, that's what I thought too.
you know what? I would have actually kind of preferred Axel to Snow, to be honest.
Oh, I
mean,
think
it's-
all of us would have.
Yeah, I don't think there's any
It-
question.
I mean,
It's better than
I've
the
actually played-
do or die type character that Final Fantasy has been pumping out of these main characters for a long
I've
time.
actually played Chain of Memories. Like, that was, like, pretty much the only Kingdom Hearts I've beaten. Like I said, before this time I've only owned Nintendo products, and now I recently acquired a PS3. So, yeah, Chain of Memories was pretty much the only Kingdom Hearts I've beaten. And even though he didn't really get too much of a, development or whatever, I'd still take Axel over Snow.
I would take most any character from any Final Fantasy game that's existed up until now instead of Snow.
Yeah.
Okay, who
Like-
was
like,
who
I'd
was
be
the
cool-
weakest? Who was the weakest character-wise in the party for this game?
Who's the
Snow.
worst character?
Weakest, or you can take that however you will.
Okay, shall we flip a coin for Hope or Snow? Because both of
Throw
them
Vanille
are.
in.
I don't know. I would have taken Snow. Over
I don't
Hope.
know. Vanille actually changed things up because she
Oh fuck! I forgot Vanille.
she wasn't
Snow.
like any other Final Fantasy character I had seen before.
Who, Vanille?
Yeah,
You're bullshitting me. She's just like
I
a,
hadn't.
she's
seen
just
that. That's what
a-
I'm saying. I had.
she's just a dolled up version of Yuffie from 7.
Okay, let's see. I haven't
Yuffie
played
is-
through
oh,
7
okay.
yet. So
I was like Yuffie in 7,
Well,
but then yeah, that's the
Yuffie
game.
is kind of a secret character, which you can actually play through the entire game without getting. Don't worry,
Oh.
it's not really. There's not too
I
much
know,
plot, but
I know who Yuffie is. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII, so I don't really know her character beyond at the Advent Children movie.
well,
So-
despite the few lines you saw like her major prominent point in there was like, okay, when she showed up on the highway with like a boatload of materia in her arms.
Yeah.
Well, they actually managed to sum up her character in one go. She's a ninja type character who is obsessed with materia to sell off and pretty much tries to scam people from the materia, and she's perky about it. So yeah, how about that? Also, she's Asian
Characters.
or Asian or Asian type, I guess.
I guess what I liked about Vanille was that for pretty much the first act, she's coming off as this complete total ditz that nobody understands at all, when really she's just hiding herself
I was
because
just
she's
okay.
afraid of Zaz most of the time.
You mean Saz?
Sorry, I pronounce it wrong.
I don't know. Zaz adds some pizzazz to Saz. Booyah! Fuck all y'all! Fuck all y'all! I did that.
Well, what if that's the actual what if that's the actual inspiration to the name? We need a name that adds pizzazz to this character. Let's call him Zaz.
No, that's too obvious. How about Saz?
We're talking
Brilliant!
about Square Enix here.
Yeah, I mean they named his son freaking Dajh. They just spelled it funny is all.
Let's call him Dahj, but that's just too original. Okay, let's spell it D-A-G-H or J-H.
HJ.
Oh my.
Now it's
Come on,
now
man,
it's
you were
a
close.
fancy name.
Hey. close.
H-J?
Yes,
Oh
D-A-H-J.
my god.
I'm
They
not.
go for an Arabic style name and they can't even spell it Arabic way. Okay,
Should I move on to the next question then?
Go for it.
sure.
How would you tweak the battle system?
I would scrap it and do something else. Honestly, I don't know why the development team has had such a hard-on for the active battle system, but they've they didn't do it in 12, and I thought, or not 12, they didn't do it in 10, and ironically, or not ironically, take your pick, I thought that 10's battle system was the best of pretty much any Final Fantasies.
They took away character uniqueness because the paradigm system basically made it to where, oh, you want to play this character? Okay, here you can change him into this class and they'll play just fine. I like the diversity in the past games where you'd have to actually contemplate bringing in a white mage or a black mage or a bruiser or a thief or something like that.
Yeah.
They took that away. Now, I was fine with it, actually, for the paradigm system for the first half because you had diversity in the characters. Some characters could only be this class, but after you got onto Grand Pulse, it was like, here's the other 3 classes for their characters. Oh, well, just fuck that.
Well,
I can
yeah,
just
but
level
here's the
these
thing,
up.
though. It's like, when I got to that point, the only person who I actually bothered to, give an ability outside their 3 main roles was, like, Fang. And that was just to get her as a medic to the point where she could learn Cure. And that was mainly because she was the cheapest one to develop to get Cure at that point.
I looked at every character had like the 3 main paradigms. I looked at the other paradigms for each character, and I looked at how much they cost, and I was like, yeah,
that
we're
was
done.
some bullshit.
Like, it really didn't want you to do it.
Anyway, so, I mean, I even have the growth egg, and it still is balls. Anyway, well, I actually wrote some notes here for that, let's see, improvements. My first note here is increase the overall battle speed. It is still so freaking slow. It is so freaking slow. Let's see, second note here, increase damage output of the party. Because it's not fun watching the party just do the same movements over and over again for half an hour or more just to get through one battle. Decrease the health of near endgame to endgame enemies because millions of HP is bullshit.
Hey, I'm doing 5,000 damage a hit. I'm awesome.
Well, that means fuck all if your enemy has like 12 million HP. Fuck your shit. Let's see. That one's more for gameplay, and that was to lower the crystal point or crystarium point requirements in the crystarium. Because seriously, there was like, if you tried to develop certain things in or certain roles outside of the main 3, there were literally like role levels that costed 120,000 points. And right after that, you had things to get for 60,000 points.
By the time I got to the end of the game during my first playthrough, I hadn't done any of the extra stuff, save for trying to get a few of the final weapons for the characters for Vanille and Lightning. I remember being at near the end of my level 4 Crystarium. I'm like, okay, I'm at the end of the game. This is where the end of the Crystarium is. All right, that's good. I hit the end of the level in the Crystarium, and then I go to this gigantic circle where it took like 9,000 Crystarium points just to hit one fucking orb. For
it was like
10
the last
plus
one.
HP. And I was like, fuck this.
Exactly. It's like, it costs so much to develop outside your main roles, and it's not even rewarding in the least to do so.
It's not even rewarding to level up your main roles sometimes.
Well, believe it or not, I've actually maxed out the main roles in 13.
I maxed out, I believe, Ravager on
I maxed out all 3 main roles on all the characters.
Jesus Christ, son.
I know. I still am planning on platinuming that game, which means 100%ing all the trophies. Fuck my life.
All the games of Final Fantasy
I told you guys before.
before.
The reason why I'm doing this, I can sum it up in one word, and that word is hate fuck. Moving on here.
I despise grinding, but Final Fantasy XIII found a way to make grinding the most boring fucking thing I've ever done.
You know
I
what?
sat
You know what?
4-hour
Here's the thing.
engineering
Here's the thing.
lectures.
I agree with you, and I've actually played MapleStory before they lowered the experience requirements.
Oh shit.
Like, I've
Oh.
actually reached third job back when it was vanilla, and let me tell you, when you're spending 4 hours under, like, double experience time or whatever, or even 4 times experience, and you're still taking 4 hours just to level up once, and then years later I play this game and think that it's more boring than that. Jesus Christ. Anyway, moving on. I still have plenty of notes here. Let's see. Allowing for the tweaking of paradigms for AI. Which I guess 13.2 kind of alleviated because you could determine how the paradigms acted to an extent. Like, you could have them aim wide, which means everyone takes a different target, or cross and have them all focus on one.
Because that completely helped because your AI was just completely retarded nonetheless.
Yeah, I mean, it made some paradigms actually useful, like Cerberus, where you have 3 commandos.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. And enable for individual paradigm switches. Jesus Christ. It's
If
pointless.
they would have allowed for individual paradigm switches like they did in 13.2, or not 13.2, oh god, 10.2, I think it would have been a little bit better.
I think
you mean
it
like
probably
job
would have been
switches?
too easy, but it would have been better.
Yeah.
I would have rather had it been too easy than really, really, really annoying.
Well, okay, this is like... I will say one thing, okay? 13 was much longer... Or I spent much longer on 13 just beating the game than I have previous Final Fantasies I've played. And... Well, actually, never mind. I think it took longer on 7. But in either case... that was mainly because I did side quests and all that stuff. Anyway, for like the Super Nintendo era ones, I spent like, what, 20, 35 hours max on that for main story? Anyway,
Yeah. I think my completion time of Final Fantasy XIII, which was 56 hours, was partly because I think I left it sitting for a 24-hour period because I couldn't even be bothered to turn off the system.
That's actually about right, because when I'm not even joking, when I finished Final Fantasy and like loaded up my cleared save file and I looked at the time, 50 hours. 50 hours and 8 minutes. So, yeah.
I think I remember falling asleep at one point. It was when Hope and Snow were together in Palom Polum.
That was
in fact,
I actually took a look
I did
back.
fall asleep. I fell asleep for about an hour.
I took a look back, and that was like chapter 7. I thought that was chapter 5, but that was chapter 7. And you would not believe it, but when I asked someone in like the Vinesauce chat, or people in Vinesauce chat, like, okay, I'm at chapter 10 in Final Fantasy XIII. How long do I have left to go? Someone actually responded. I want to say that was Ruiz, actually, who responded. And he said, "Oh, it's like, yeah, it's like I said, I was at the Sid fight." He's like, "Oh, well, you're 50% there." I'm like, "What?" Because that was chapter 10. There's only 13 chapters in the game, and that's the halfway point.
They don't understand how chapter balance works.
Not only that, but
they don't fucking
for the entire game, they touted that Grand Pulse, before you get to Grand Pulse, was this gigantic world, and I'm like, oh my god, I'm going to get to this world. It's going to be great. I'm going to get to explore it. There's going to be so much to do. Oh, let's get to this village. Oh, you're back on Cocoon. Oh, okay. Grand Pulse was
interesting,
fun.
though, is that I think the total map size for all the maps combined in 13, it would still be smaller than all the maps combined for Super Nintendo era Final Fantasies.
Oh yeah.
Anyway, I still have plenty of notes, so I can't really deal with interruptions right now, so let me just blast through these real quick. Allow for some overlap in paradigms, like, have like Sentinel be able to use basic healing spells like Cure, or a commando being able to use elemental strikes that you see in Ravager.
Well, I know that Sentinel had the same thing as Commando, where it would halt the stagger gauge from dropping if you used
Provoke or challenge.
Yeah.
Let's see. Stalking commands is boring. Refer to previous series entries on how commands are issued. In other words, it's kind of like multiple things in one there. It's like, okay, don't have me deal piddly amounts of damage. Have it deal like all that damage at once and just like get it over with. Make it faster. Or, you know, follow... I don't know.
You had to watch those drawn-out combos.
Yeah, it's like...
the game was
Well,
pretty.
it's not only just watching the attack animations. It was watching that gauge fill up and listening to, you know, the commands like blink and light up or whatever.
Not only that, but after hearing it for the 50th time, dum.
It's like,
Da, da,
it's like
da,
beep,
da,
beep,
dum, da,
beep,
dum.
beep, beep. Oh, hey, it's all filled up.
Da, da,
Okay,
dum.
attack. Anyway, let's see. Add
I
some more
love
variety.
just watching the characters stand there. They're fighting this gigantic dude, and while the ATB gauge is filling up, they're just swaying back and forth.
I want to repeat something. Okay, I legitimately beat the game by doing pretty much nothing but auto battle. Anyway, let's see. Add some more variety to skills. Everyone is basically interchangeable, with the difference being stats and appearances, and I guess their one ultimate skill.
Yep.
Let's see. This one's kind of, and I think the last one's here is just nitpicking about the Crystarium. Speed up the Crystarium. I don't want to watch, you know, the path fill up with all the CP I'm giving it.
I remember that. I remember just you have to hold the A button to use your Crystarium points. It wasn't just press A and then get
and
it.
just instantly
You
get
had
it.
to hold it and watch it.
Yeah, like if
all
you
the
let
gauge
go,
like
it
that.
would literally stop filling. It would stop filling. And you know what?
Oh, God.
It's like I wrote this, and as I was writing it, like I wrote this after I started playing 13.2, and it's like, Jesus Christ, if they could fix all that in just like less than a year, why the fuck didn't they just do that in the first place? Anyway, let's see. Increase Crystarium points awarded and have monsters drop gil for crying out loud, because I do not want to grind for items to sell off.
Monsters drop useful shit.
Yeah.
That, yes.
They
Like,
never
literally-
dropped anything useful.
Yeah, you don't-
Literally,
they don't
the
drop
only
equipment or anything.
enemies that the game recommends you bother fighting are like the one that drops anything good. Like basically all the forums are like, I'm never getting any items. When do I start getting items? And they're like, oh, just wait till you see the Adamantoise. But you literally have to grind those.
Yes,
I
and
remember for a while you kept you would stack up with the not the Libra scopes, but the other stuff that would give you like plus armor or stuff. It basically give you buffs at the start of a battle, and then they just stopped happening.
yeah.
Like after I hit Grand Pulse, I never got one of those again. I never even picked up a Libra scope from a fight. I had to start
That's
buying
because
those on my own.
that's because you got to do a quest to get an item to be able to have them drop again.
Oh God!
It's like, if I remember correctly, it's called the Survivalist Catalog.
Are you?
All right.
Wait, are you being serious about that?
Yes, there is an actual item to make them drop. It's like you have a chance to drop them. It's like,
Why did I play this game?
I got it for my birthday. What's your excuse?
I spent $60 the week of release, and I tricked
Fuck
myself
you,
into
I
thinking
bought
it was a good
collector's
game.
I tricked myself into thinking it was a good game because of 5 years of anticipation, and yeah, 5 years of anticipation. Oh, it's gonna be a great game. It's gonna be amazing. It's gonna be astounding. Oh boy, another new Final Fantasy.
Well, that
Here's my
actually.
money for a collector's edition. Fuck.
That's basically how it went for me too. Was like I remember sitting down. I remember
like,
sitting down. I remember the
finally get it
moment
10
when
hours
I was
later.
finally
Fuck.
like, this game isn't fun. Like
that
I
is,
said,
you
I
know, that
remember
is the
sitting
absolute
around.
worst feeling. Now that I think about it, it's like you start playing a game that you were hyped for all this time, and then it just shits in your face.
Yeah, I
Buddy,
sat
I'm
around. I was doing like the
so
snow stuff. I was just kind of, I was getting no
I
reaction
mean,
from
it's like
myself.
it's like you saved your money for it, and it's like, fuck yeah, I'm gonna do everything in this game.
let
I
me
got the
tell
collector's
you
edition. I got my widescreen at the ready. Let's go. HDMI cables up in this. I'm playing this in 1080p. 10 hours later,
this isn't fun.
This is
fuck.
Let me tell you how used to this feeling I am. You know what series I'm really enthralled into?
What's that?
The Sonic the Hedgehog series. You know
You
what it's
poor,
like to be
poor bastard.
disappointed every 6 months when they release a brand new game with some fuck gimmick that fucks the entire game completely? Let me tell you about that. It's the worst feeling in the world. Because you put out $60
You
at
know,
release for
I
this
would like
game
to say
you
that
love.
I've only played good Sonic games, and because I played Sonic Heroes and I played Sonic and the Secret Rings, and I enjoyed those games. I legitimately enjoyed Sonic Heroes, and Sonic Rings was actually pretty neat to play
You're
with the
the
Wii
first
remote.
person I've ever met that liked Sonic and the Secret Rings.
yeah. No
Well,
one
I
likes
don't
that
get
game.
why that game.
Congratulations.
Well, to be honest, I seriously do not understand the hate that game gets because it's not a bad Sonic game. It really is not.
Because it controls.
No,
like,
the controls aren't bad either.
The controls pissed me off. It
They're
was
bad.
almost heavy rain tier piss off for me.
Like,
were
I
pretty
played
bad.
it and I was not frustrated by the controls or anything. Like, I legitimately played through it and it's like, wow, this is actually a pretty good game. Now, I actually downloaded Sonic the Hedgehog 4 for the Wii.
Isn't it just a remake of Sonic the Hedgehog
No.
1?
No,
I thought it was just a remake.
It's
Okay.
actually a little bit different.
it's actually a new, honest-to-goodness Sonic game, and they recently released Episode 2, and they said that one was going to be the final.
It's a 3-part series. Episode
No.
2 actually turned out to be pretty bad.
You sure? Because I could have sworn they said, okay, once Episode 2 is released, we're done with it.
I
But
remember that
I
when
remember
they first
episode
announced the
1.
series, it'd be part 3, but it's whatever.
I remember Episode 1 taking flack because it was, like, plagued with issues. Like, the physics weren't Sonic, and I legitimately refused to do the homing attack because I was like, dude, this is not side-scrolling Sonic. What the hell?
But
Until I
beyond
realized
Sonic,
that,
we need to get back
that
to
you
the-
legitimately could not pass certain stages until you used the homing attack.
But beyond that, this is about Final Fantasy, so let's not get sidetracked.
Yeah. Which, actually, believe it or not, this whole discussion is actually leading into the next question. What is Square Enix's biggest faults in regards to developing 13?
They want to make Final Fantasy VIII again.
They want to make Final Fantasy VIII again.
Well, part of me was like, okay, I've actually read some of the stuff that went on behind the scenes, and according to what they've said, the dev team for this was absolutely huge.
Yeah, and there was a lot of like issues and stuff. But
Yeah,
here's the
issues
thing.
amongst the teams. Like, okay,
No amount of horrible miscommunication could have possibly resulted in the storyline that they decided to write for this game.
I think what they were trying to do was make a game that was like the other Final Fantasies, when all the Final Fantasies had their own little unique niche to them. They all had their differences, whether the story being dark or some of them being lighthearted, even though it had a dark overtone.
Yeah, like
It
Final
tried
Fantasy,
too hard to be another Final Fantasy game, and that's what made them fail.
I don't know. I think Rezel kind of summed it up nicely. It's like they tried to make Final Fantasy VIII. They tried to make it too different, if you actually ask me, because they threw out a good battle system from 12.
no one liked the 12 battle system though.
No, I'm talking about the Gambit system. The Gambit system was sex.
No one liked it.
What are you talking about?
I'm not gonna lie. I got confused as shit the first time I played Final Fantasy XII because I didn't understand what was going on.
people like the Gambit system, but people who love Final Fantasy don't like the Gambit system, and they don't like the whole overworld thing, and they especially didn't like the fact that the entire game wasn't really melodramatic like Final Fantasy X, 8, 7, and 13 was.
Well, if you ask me, that's the first time I've heard of any hate for the Gambit system.
Oh yeah, dude, people hate the Gambit system.
I was confused as shit with the Gambit system.
It takes a little while to get used to. It's
well, I don't know,
you kind of almost have to think in programming terms. Like one takes
that's the thing. That was actually the fun part of it because they're I'm pretty sure you can look up on YouTube and just like there are videos people have done showing off that they've done challenging boss fights relying on nothing but their AI partners just to show off how well they did their gambits.
Yeah, there's a thing in Final Fantasy XII where you can find a certain hidden enemy, because there's a ton of hidden enemies in Final Fantasy XII. There's like 150 hidden enemies where you have to do certain things in order for them to spawn, and they give you awesome rewards. There was this one that if you set your gambits up just right, you could keep from killing him, and you would just infinitely kill all of his summons, and you could eventually hit the max level if you just like left your game on for a couple hours while you did other stuff, if you had your gambit set up just right. But it was really hard.
Nice.
I love how emergent that game is.
But here's the
Final
thing.
Fantasy XII is great. It's
here's the thing, though.
as hell.
You could not get away with relying on your AI partners in 13.
No, you couldn't.
No, because they were the most stupidest AI ever.
I think I can't remember which one.
Oh man, I'm about to die and I don't have time to switch paradigm. I hope my medic class that I have up is going to use a heal ability. Oh no, he's going to heal the other character dead.
No, he's.
Oh wait, he's gonna use Isuna.
Yeah. Also,
I loved when they used Isuna. Oh, he's using Isuna.
It's like, oh, don't worry. I'm only at the threshold between yellow and red on my health gauge.
That's when I made sure I always would play a medic in that certain situation. Just so.
Well, here's the thing, though. It's like, okay, I actually got to the point where, wait, no, that was with Saz. Never mind. That was an entirely different situation.
Also, to address something you said earlier, the Gambit system being fun, Final Fantasy fans hated the Gambit system.
Really?
Final Fantasy fans also loved Final Fantasy XIII, so we know how they feel about fun.
Yeah, but yeah, let's see, what was I gonna say? Fuck you guys. Oh yeah, that's right. I think someone mentioned it in one of the earlier videos, but they said something about, okay, how their idiot AI partners would keep casting the same things against enemies they fought before, despite knowing full well that it wouldn't work. Well, I found out that, yeah, that's actually the case if you don't use Libra or a Libra scope. Like, they will legitimately keep doing it until you use it, or use those.
Like, even your auto battle will clock in and say, hey, this guy will half damage here, but he takes full damage from this. Let's use this ability. If your characters didn't have anything like that, they just keep using the same ability.
Yeah, they try and find something that was neutral.
And over.
But yeah, let's see. What's biggest faults? Well, I'm not sure how much you guys read in regards to the development, but apparently they cut out so much of the game that they had enough cut material to make us entirely an entire second game.
You know what? I'm actually kind of pissed in hearing that now, because they should have just put it into the game. I don't care if it went smoothly into the game. They should have just put it into the fucking game.
I don't know. If it would have resulted in having to spend 1 hour just to beat the game, just straight on going through this main storyline, I'm not sure if it would have been worth it. But if it was stuff on the side, go for it.
If it was stuff on the side, I would have been happy, glorious, hooray, huzzah. But instead, they put in a mission system to try and not be linear, and the mission system itself was linear.
Yeah.
Well, that
you had to complete mission 1 to beat mission 2, and then mission 3, and then mission 4.
All right. Well, that actually leads to my second to last question for this video. The game was planned with DLC in mind. That being said, how do you think that would fit in, if at all?
I
wasn't going to pay shit for a DLC for that game.
I would never pay for DLC for that game, but here's the thing is people get all ants in their pants about DLC on the disc, but honestly, it's not really that big of a deal. I don't think.
I don't know. Okay, personally, I think I
What could
probably
they
would
have
have been
possibly put in to make this game a sweeter deal?
That's the thing. I'm trying to figure out how DLC could have fit into this game. Like, where could they have put in stuff?
I'm thinking it was probably stuff like the Mass Effect armor or more costumes or stuff like that. Yeah. I can't imagine it being anything else.
I don't know, but if this game legitimately had on-disc DLC, I would have probably been a little bit glad, because that would have meant there was actually some more stuff to this game. But I would have been pissed, because that meant that they weren't going to enable me to get to that stuff. But
I don't think anything they could have possibly made for that game would have enhanced my experience anymore. Like, I don't think anything I would have had to have paid money for would have made me enjoy that game.
You know what? Let's sidetrack. Oh wait, you go ahead.
You know what I'm imagining right now?
What?
You know that South Park episode, the Guitar Hero one?
Yeah.
When he breaks 1,000,000 points, you remember what happens?
Congratulations, you reached 1,000,000 points. You guys are fags.
I'm imagining that happening after beating Final Fantasy XIII.
Exactly.
Congratulations, you beat Final Fantasy XIII. You are fags.
I mean, it was like, that
That's
sums
what
it up
was.
perfectly. It's like, I beat the game. Yay.
Right. Wow.
I mean, what happened after you beat the game? Your Crystarium expanded. You get Orphan, like all of Orphan's forms in the final Bartendalis's form in your Beastry.
Ooh.
Yes! Yes!
All right. Yeah.
And nothing fucking mattered.
I actually lost the disc for a while until my roommate found it when I went to go move out of my apartment last week.
And nothing of value was actually lost.
No, instead I actually have a case filled with 3 discs I don't care about right now.
You know what? There was seriously several points at the game when I was just like playing it to finish it this summer. And I'm like, fuck me, I really do not want to be playing this game. You know what I would rather be doing?
Anything.
I'd rather be well, that was actually one of my thoughts. It's like, Jesus Christ, I think I should be working on something or here. And that's one of the worst things you can be feeling during a game. It's like, Jesus Christ, this is such a waste of my time. I should be doing something productive.
Okay.
But let me finish my thought here. Sorry about that. But
yeah, that's fine.
No, legitimately, I was thinking about like several times during like cutscenes and when people were speaking or during stupid fights. It's like, Jesus Christ, I just want to take this game, slap it in this case, and just like punt that thing. Punt it out of my yard or whatever. Just like punt the game case.
You know what the funnest experience about me playing Final Fantasy XIII was?
What?
Get ready for this. This is about to be a punchline joke because this actually happened. I'm sitting there playing.
All right. Restate what you said. Just like,
all right.
Let's get the full joke here.
Okay. The funnest part of Final Fantasy XIII with me playing it was...
Drum roll.
While I was playing it, so I was in a dorm/apartment place. Some kid had run down the hallway, took a hammer, and then jumped up, and then hit one of the fire sprinklers with the hammer and blew it off the wall. Just completely decimated it. We hear the thunk, and then just this. So the entire place starts flooding. And we're all like, oh God, the fire alarm starts going off. That was the funnest thing about Final Fantasy XIII for me. Because every time I think about Final Fantasy XIII, I remember, oh yeah, the entire dorm I was in was turned into a slip and slide. Because some kid took a hammer to a sprinkler system.
I was just waiting for the part where you said, and then my room started flooding, and then I realized my Xbox was on the floor. However, I was quite a ways away from a save point, and I knew I could not move the console because otherwise I would scratch the hell out of my disc.
Actually, my quick thinking and blocking the doorway saved the room from getting completely flooded. But
Dude, you lost your chance to free yourself from the game.
You could have been done with it.
It's like, I'm free! I'm free! I'm free! I can play good video games! Yes! Oh, sweet freedom! Anyway, go on.
No, that's practically it. That's the funnest part about Final Fantasy for me. And this was right before the final boss of the Snow and Hope section. That giant flying bird that would not fucking die.
Oh, the giant aircraft. You know what?
Yeah.
I gotta say, that was legitimately one of the more enjoyable fights. Mainly because it was
enjoyable,
different.
but it took forever for me.
It didn't take too long. I just liked it because it was like... I mean, it didn't take too long for me, but I just liked it because it was different. It was a different boss fight than what I've had in that game. And it actually stood out as a unique boss fight in... I was thinking that legitimately in all my experience with the Final Fantasy series. Because here you are, you're on the edge of an apartment building, and you're striking out against this giant warship that's just like floating right by the windows pretty much.
Oh, no, I'm not talking about the warship. I'm talking about the boss fight before that, before Snow falls off the ledge.
Oh, my bad.
Yeah, no, the warship was amazing. I fucking love that fight. Yeah. No, I'm talking about the little flying bird thing that's at the top of that building with Snow and...
Wait, was that the one you were talking about earlier where it's like, okay, you were kind of forced to play as Snow and then you were pretty much like doing nothing but Sentinel?
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh, my God, that fight did kind of take forever.
Because,
like, I remember I had to summon, and even then, it still took a while.
Because, God forbid, it hit Hope. Because if it hit Hope, he died, and there goes your AI medic. God forbid, an AI medic dying, and you're like, oh, fuck. Okay, I can pop a potion. Oh, wait, at this level, potions do barely anything.
I forgot there were items in that game. Like, I legitimately forgot there were items in that game. I forgot you could use items. Because
the only item I ever used was potion and high potion. That's it.
They had those spray things.
Yeah.
Whose idea was that? Like, who thought it would be a good idea that we were like, no, what if you can use aerosol on the main map and you can go into battle with shrouds? It'll be great.
That's it. That's what I was trying to remember that you could get out of the monster fights earlier. It was the arrow shit or whatever.
Aerosol.
Yeah,
canisters.
You told us that. Exactly.
I was trying to remember the name to them.
Well, they call them shrouds. Like they call
shrouds,
them,
yeah.
Yeah, they call them shrouds, but the names were like Fortisol, Egasol, and
That's it.
Oh, Deceptisol. Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna spray stuff on me so monsters don't see me. Nope, they can't see me at all because this is how physics works.
I legitimately use them just to avoid fights. It's like, fuck me. I don't
oh
want
yeah,
to do
of
these
course.
I don't want to do this boring fight. Please do not let me do this boring fight.
When I was just starting out in the in Grand Pulse in that big area where you can explore, which by the way, was anyone else like decepted into continuing with playing the game under the guise of, oh, it gets better once you get to Grand Pulse?
No.
Of course, I was.
I just took that with a grain of salt. I was like, okay.
I never heard that, but once I saw the sprawling landscape, I was like, oh, wait, the game's going to open up now. We're going to have this gigantic story. We're going to have all these places to go.
Wait, no, it's still
area.
Dude, I could nitpick about story details and shit all day long. Like cutscenes and everything.
The only time I used Deceptisol was against 5 of those floating balls that explode.
Oh,
like,
those
because every time I tried to do that battle, they would all huddle around me and then tick, 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 boom.
Do you remember those, like, well, I don't even remember them specifically myself, but do you remember, like, having to do certain fights over and over? Not even, like, boss fights, but just, like, random encounters because the AI of the other team would somehow do something to mess up your strategy, and you would just be like, no, that's not.
I believe I did that or had that happen a few times, but
I remember there was one with
cannot
like
remember.
these
There was
robots
one
with
battle. The
were
robots.
you had to kill them all at once,
Yes,
and they
there was
would
also
not gather together so you could hit them all.
the one that made me angry was the one that it was on a bridge. You had to fight it, and it was right before you could get onto the rolling fallacy or whatever. It was 2 walls that buffed 4 of those cyberpunk dudes with the gigantic arms.
Yeah.
It was like
That
I think they called
sucked.
them ambling bellows or something like that. And basically,
That fight was
Yes.
harder than any boss fight I ever
fuck me,
fought.
I hated those
won
fights.
I beat it. I finally beat it. by
I hated those
fucking
fights,
luck.
especially since it's like you can't just straight up, kill all the little guys. You think it's like, oh, it's one of these fights where you have to kill all the little guys first, and then oh wait, you realize they spawn them again. So it's like, all right, well, maybe if I just leave one. No, they keep spawning them until they're like back to full or whatever. And it's like,
And then you
fuck.
try and go and attack the one that's spawning them, and it's like, oh, let's buff all the ones we already have up into
It's like,
generals
oh,
or
system
whatever.
upgrade.
Oh,
Well,
system upgrade.
Oh, it was
Okay.
system upgrade.
System upgrade,
System
I hated that.
upgrade.
and it throws every single buff pretty much on them, and it's like,
God dang it!
And if
that
it did that,
fight.
you basically just restarted the fight because
Oh
you
my
knew
God,
you were
I think-
done.
all right,
You
that
were
one I
done.
legitimately remember doing like what, hitting retry 4 or 5 times just to get through it.
God,
And
that
it was a
fight.
retarded fight, just for retardedness.
That's actually where, you remember how I told you I played through it for the first time and then I stopped, and then because my friend asked me to, I played through the rest of the game a second time. And
Wait,
got
you what?
that's where I stopped.
You what?
Yeah, the first time I played it, I stopped at that fight. I got so angry.
Wait,
at that
are you
fight.
saying that you legitimately like beat the game once?
No,
then
no, I
replayed-
didn't beat the game once.
Oh.
I got to that. I played it first after I first got it. I got to that fight with the 2 wall dudes
Alright,
that
'cause
kept
I
doing
was
the
about to
system
say,
upgrade.
Jesus Christ, son! If you beat the game once, then start it over again.
No.
I was like,
He's
dude,
not a
I
monster.
would be
Screw you.
legitimately concerned for you. I was like, oh fuck me, this guy's insane.
Granted, I am insane. No, I'm not that insane. I
not a
stopped
bad
at that
person.
fight.
But here's the thing, though. If I ever want to like show off any video specific parts of this game, if I somehow acquire recording equipment down the line, you know what I'm gonna have to do? I'm gonna have to fucking play through this game again from start to finish.
I guarantee you're not gonna do it.
Here's a question I would ask for you. If you were to try to show one of your friends a video of the game to try to get them interested to play it, what would
Why
you
would you
possibly
do that?
show them?
Why
I
would you
would
try and get them
show-
interested in this game in the
Just
first?
completely hypothetically, if
I
you
would
had to try
probably
to
show
get someone
them-
interested in this game,
I don't know, probably like a video of.
of a cutscene, because there's
Well,
no
no,
way
no,
you
no,
could
no.
show
I wouldn't
any
even show him
gameplay.
anything of the game. I'd be like, okay, here's a video about vampire bats. This is how it feels to play Final Fantasy XIII.
Here's
You see how
here's a
it's-
video of Anil's ass. There you go.
That's all you need.
Why vanille?
I don't know. They made so many implications about her ass or vagina so many times.
That reminds
Her
me.
fucking mark is on her ass.
That reminds me. Believe it or not, in one of the cutscenes for 13-2, like with Sarah's default outfit, it was like one of the first ones when she's still in like New Bodom. There was, or was it in like, I don't know. It was like one of the very earlier on cutscenes that you could actually see up her one-piece dress, skirt, whatever, and believe it or not, I don't know if I should go on record for saying this, but believe it or not, you can actually no, it's not even in subtle at all. It's like it's a straight up flash that was completely unintentional, but she actually has camel toe.
You know what my favorite part about the beginning of 13.2 was? how someone disappearing from the timeline changes your clothes.
Like suddenly I'm not wearing a stupid tank
Sailor
top with a
Moon!
skirt anymore.
You know exactly what I'm talking about.
I
don't
know,
you,
I know exactly
Drago?
what you're talking about. At the very start of the game, she wakes up from her bed, and then all of a sudden, I'm Sailor fucking Moon.
I don't remember wearing these clothes. What the
Time paradox.
fuck?
Time
Time
paradox.
paradox. Fashion
And
has
you know what?
changed.
That's the thing,
Suddenly,
though. That's the
we
thing,
are
though.
the
Her
world ends with you.
But no, seriously, I'm still kind of, to be honest, now that I think about it, I'm a little bit baffled by that because it's like, how do you show off your underwear? How should I even know that she has camel toe? Why do I know this?
I don't know. Why do you know this?
Because in a cutscene, she somehow manages to flash her underwear in a totally I mean, it's not even.
Japan.
That's some of my mind exploding. It's just like the way they did that cutscene. It wasn't even intended for fan service whatsoever. She's just like runs in, talks to Noel and stuff, and you just see up her skirt for 1 second. And that's another thing. Her clothes don't really have a skirt. It's just like a one-piece dress thing. I'm still trying to figure out how they managed to animate her in a way that you could look up her dress. And it's not like something you can intentionally do yourself. She does it by herself in a cutscene that you have no control over. And it's like for long enough that you can see details. As many details as you can see on a solid black piece of cloth.
Who else but Japan?
Oh!
Yeah,
No, but
well,
seriously, playing a Japanese game and not expecting fan service somewhere.
Yeah,
no, that's
it's
modern
going to happen.
JRPGs. That's modern JRPGs, man. Well, never mind. I think there was some stuff in PS1 era. And implications in
By the way,
SNES era.
Have you gotten to the Deus Ex portion of or the Deus Ex Machina portion of Final Fantasy XII yet?
You mean 13-2?
Or 13-2. You'll know what I mean by Deus Ex Machina when you get to it. You may think you know what I'm talking about.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Good. Because when you get to it, you're going to just
does
hate
it
the game.
involve... Okay, I'm just going to list off characters and tell me if it involves them. Snow?
No.
Saz? Well, no. Saz, you've already told me about.
Saz, the best character in that game, but no.
Well, obviously not Vanille and Fang because,
No,
there's
no.
still crystals.
It is Vanille and Fang.
Wait, what? Oh, that is bullshit. That is
There you
bullshit.
go. That's your driving force to find out what that Deus Ex Machina is.
Oh,
to
fuck
town,
me. And it
son.
involves... You're serious when you say it involves Vanille and Fang?
God of the machine, my friend. The God of the machine.
Jesus Christ. All right, well, I actually do have one last question for this before we can, do a little tangent and then finally sign off on this series. Okay, you ready for this last question?
I don't know how I could not be.
Why does everything have to transform? Your weapons
Because
transform.
Michael Bay
Enemies transform.
presents Final
Summons
Fantasy
transform.
XIII.
Everything freaking transforms.
The only
Why?
thing we missed was Shia LaBeouf screaming, no, 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 no.
I mean, seriously, the transformations in this game, or in 13, it's like some of the most pointless things ever.
Except
in any other
Brunhilde.
game, a transformation is like, oh crap, something's happening, something real important's happening.
Oh, shit.
Henshin a go-go,
Turn it
baby,
into
let's
a
go.
Cadillac.
And we get our weapons that you can do fuck all with. It's like, oh, hey, I can combine 2 guns into 1. My sword is also a gun.
Everything transformed. You're
Hey,
right.
you see this staff I have? Oh, I can pull the ends apart and slash with those.
Dude, even the monsters transformed in this
Yeah,
game.
all the behemoth families, okay? You know how they transform? They pull a fucking like
They were
sword
straight up
or
transforming.
They
It's like,
rotating.
pulled
you're
an
kidding,
axe
you're
out of their head.
Yes,
and
they
started
a
beating
sword, an
you.
axe, a circular saw. I wish I was kidding on that last one, but it's a honest to God powered circular saw that they pull out of them. Somehow that pisses them off so much that it heals them for the maximum damage limit several times over.
I remember
But
I
do you
didn't know you weren't supposed to be able to kill them at first, and I almost killed it. And I was like, yeah, I'm good. I've got this. And then all of a sudden they transformed, and I was like,
And
I
here's the
guess I'm
thing, I
done.
could have sworn that even their muscles like bulge after that as well.
But
Yeah,
do you
they glow
know what
red.
circular saw was in regards to their body? It was on their head. Now imagine they pull the entire circular saw of their head. Where the fuck is their brain?
Well, here's the thing, apparently the handle's long enough to be mistaken for their tail as well. What else Oh, the Proud class. That is the most pointless transformation ever. The one, what was it? That one dick-ass guy who was like, "Oh, you might be fighting on our side, but you're still a sea. So let me jump in my ship and fire guns and missiles at you." Yeah, and then he does it, and it's like, "Oh, you fire a giant laser at me, so that's my cue to go Sentinel, I guess, and do fuck all else." But yeah, seriously, the transformations are pointless in this game. So,
Except for Brunhilde.
Brynhilder is like,
Is the exception.
yes, because that's like, oh shit. It's like, oh shit, son, now I get a Ferrari.
Just that entire transformation sequence with the burnout at the end, that was perfect for Brunhilde. I just loved that transformation so much.
Hold on.
I
You know
just
what? Let
wish-
me put this. Let me put this in the recording. Let me just like pull up a video of it, just so that there's like one good thing about Final Fantasy XIII in this video somehow.
I wish I played Zaz enough to be able to summon Brunhilde as much as possible, but Zaz was just an all-around
Oh, dude!
character
Once I got
that-
to like, it's like it was like pretty much after I could determine who I could be in my party and all that. It's like after a while of just like doing random people, I pretty much made sure Saz was in my party in one form or fashion, and then after a while I just straight up had him as my controllable character up until the very end of the game, and I have to say I do not regret it one bit.
Yeah, if you didn't run
See-
around the map as Saz, I'm questioning
I didn't
you.
run around the map as Zaz.
Why not?
His stats were halfway par compared to other characters, like some characters that have more strength or more spell power. Zaz was just straight even on everything. So it was actually better to bring other characters that were heavier in strength or heavier in spell
Optimization
power.
wasn't enough to drag me out of not using Saz.
Well, I don't know. Saz had
Well,
Saz
remember,
is actually quite up there in HP.
I
He's
was
like
the
the
guy that
second
was trying
highest.
to inch through with the lowest possible level that I
Oh
could.
yeah, true. I don't want to get into this discussion because this is a discussion for a whole different thing, but usually the jack of all trades characters are the worst because they're not really good at anything. And in this game where you've got 6 classes, or I think it's only 6, where each one of
Yeah.
them is very specialized, you need a specialized character. So using the jack of all trades character was kind of
I actually
not a good thing.
found a video of Saz's summon, but thing is, it's the Japanese version.
Close enough.
You need the Saz spin on it. Hold on real quick.
Let's see, YouTube comments. Brynhilde is a total badass. Okay, so you can't probably tell us much, or too much, since apparently all the summons are tied to specific characters, is there any storyline-ish connected between the summons and the characters? This was December 20th, 2009. This was when it was first released in Japan. So, about a year before it came out, or a little less than a year before it came out here in the US, so nothing, and the uploader responded, nothing really significant, but obtaining them somewhat ties to your character's story.
Somewhat.
Well, I don't know. Considering how Saz almost freaking committed suicide with a gun to the head, I would say that's rather significant to the story overall,
The
considering
fact that they teased that, like that they tried to make it seem like that was something that could possibly happen, got me really excited because I was like, oh man, they're gonna do something bold and different with this game, and it's gonna be interesting, and things are gonna happen, and then they didn't, and I was like, nope, I don't know what I was thinking.
All right.
Eidolon battle. No. Oh wait, here we go. Let me mute this. Well, let me. Oh, this cuts out the transformation. All right. Let me see your link here. More guttural noises. Oh, alright. Yeah, that's perfect. So...
That's
yeah.
right. Let's do it.
So, Brutal Sean's 1988 free advertisement for you. Yeah, because... fuck having proper screen regions. Alright, let's go. Yeah. Oh shit, let's go!
That's right. Let's do it. That's right. Let's do it.
Alright, yeah.
That transformation.
Oh, that is seriously one of the best things about this game. It's
It
actually
might be the best thing about this game.
Zaz in general is the best thing about this game.
He really is. I'm not even joking about that. He really is pretty much the best thing about this game. You know what? I'm just gonna go ahead and list this as one of the game's strong points. It has saws in it. It has saws in it.
Zaz is the best character, best story, best everything about this game.
It's like, yeah, Vanille.
So much so
like,
that he leaves you wanting more of his story in the
why
form of
couldn't
what happened to
Saz,
his wife.
why couldn't have Saz been the main character? Like, seriously, Lightning's... If you ask me,
In
Lightning's
a
more...
way, he was sort of the main character.
I don't think the game really picked up a main character. I think
That's another one of
unanimously,
its fault points. They didn't have a main character. They fell on 6 people to be the main character.
but there
I mean,
wasn't enough
seriously.
different about each
Okay,
of the
here's
6 people.
here's my summary of the characters, okay? Lightning is Lightning is... I'm just going to straight out and say it. Lightning's too much of an emotional bitch for me. I mean, I just did not like how they made her character.
Lightning is the brand new Cloud Strife.
That reminds me. I have a picture. I have a picture for this. That relates directly to this, and I actually have a full size of it on my blog. No promotion there whatsoever. Wicked Design, WordPress.com. Anyway,
Also, if you give a promotion, can I give a promotion for something?
Go for it.
Texts from Final Fantasy XIII.tumblr.com.
Wait, is that legitimate?
It's a thing where they take samples from texts from last night. You know that website?
Wait, text from last night. I don't know. I'm just
It's
kind
where
of...
people post drunk texts on the internet.
Oh,
They take drunk
part of it
texts
is like
from-
I don't really use Tumblr at all, and second, I'm trying to find the part where I can upload the image to you in Skype.
You've never drunk texted someone before?
No, because I'm only 20 years old.
I'm only 20 years old.
Well, good for you, I guess.
But anyways, they take snippets from texts from last night, and they put him over screenshots of Final Fantasy XIII. It's
Are
really
you
funny.
serious?
Yeah, it's really
Oh
funny.
my god.
Oh, you gotta post a link now in chat.
All right, yeah, I'll go to it. I try not to follow any Tumblr blogs except for like people I personally know or know from
Or in the
Vinesauce
Skype
because
chat, whatever.
Tumblr is normally a horrible place. But I made an exception for text from Final Fantasy XIII. It's really
That
funny.
might seriously be like, what if they wrote this story based on that? That would have been much better. I don't know. I'd have to see the quality of these texts.
They're pretty good. I wouldn't be
All right.
plugging it if I didn't think they were really
All right.
good. They're
So
really
yeah,
good.
there's your image on female Cloud. Anyway, so let's see. But yeah, I felt that Lightning was an emotional bitch. Snow is Snow. I didn't really, care too much, but I didn't dislike him. Vanille's like, yay, let's do this. Yeah, come on. Hope can go fuck himself. Saz is like the king of all these characters. Best one ever in this entire game. Or in the entire series, I guess, for 13. Who am I missing? I'm missing Fang, am I? Fang, she's alright. I like
Fang was okay.
Yeah, Fang, I can deal with Fang. She's
Like, she
pretty
wasn't actively offensive.
cool. Yeah. Well, except for in battle when all I'd hear is, oh, fuck me. I know you're doing a power swing, stop it.
Also,
yeah,
did anyone else think it
overall, she
was
was alright.
really funny? Well, I don't know if anyone else, but did anyone else get like lesbian vibes from Vanille and Fang?
Well, they pretty much...
Like in
I
swear
13-2,
in
that
one
was like pretty
cutscene-
much nothing but that in 13-2, because they're like, oh, hey, this prophecy calls them sisters, and all this other stuff. But yeah, that's like, oh, okay, that's not awkward at all.
Oh my god.
Especially the part where Fang like looks up, Vanille's skirt to see the brand on her, buttocks.
Yeah, I'm not like the person who's like, oh, lesbians. Oh man, I'm so funny. Let's go play Halo. But I was getting some lesbian vibes from those two.
Yeah.
I was getting lesbian vibes, but the main thing I was worried about at that was like, for the entire first half, like, wait, where is her lassie mark? Oh. So they actually
almost
went
sounded
that
like
way
something
with this
from Family
character.
Guy,
You
like,
couldn't even make the character subtly the sexual character of it. You had
it's
to
like, wait a minute.
you had to literally put the mark that says "I'm a giant slut" on her ass, and then make
It's
reference.
like, oh,
to it.
you thought it was Fang you guys should have been lusting after, huh? Well, we gotta surprise her, you. So let's see. This
Also,
image.
I posted one of the pictures
Yeah,
in
let me
the Skype chat.
move this screen region over so the viewers can see. Let's see. 3:20. I'll be on Pinterest all night, planning crafty things to do with my cats in 10 years. The sad thing is, in Final Fantasy 13 motherfucking 2,
You can get
she
a cat
does
as your
actually obsess over one of her cats.
Pet. Oh, God.
They're all that good. Like, they're all that quality. If you don't like Final Fantasy 13, you'll have a great time.
Oh, I thought for a moment this was... Oh, wait, it is a screenshot from 13 too.
Is it?
Yeah,
It's
that's
perfect. It's perfect. Oh, but yeah, I'm not even kidding. Okay, she does have a cat she, pays attention to and cares for.
Oh
And-
yeah, that cat that you have to find at the beginning.
And guess what she calls this cat?
Please, I forgot.
Snow.
Oh God. I remember now.
It's like my boyfriend went off on a time traveling adventure. Guess all I have is this cat that I
Guess
called.
I have to name a cat after him because God forbid I be without him for 5 minutes.
I mean,
even in cat form.
I remember for about a minute in the conversations, like, we can't find Snow. I was like, oh, wait, what's happened to Snow? Oh, no. It's the cat.
That voice! That fucking voice! You nailed it! Oh, Jesus Christ. I think this might be the best video yet I've done.
Oh, God.
Ah.
It's the cat.
Well, I think we should probably wrap this up soon, but should we do, like, you know, some random odds and ends about 13.2?
What
I guess
random
I've got
odds and
I've
ends?
got a thing, I guess.
Go for it.
Things I wish they would have done that would have made the storyline more interesting. Things that if they would have done this instead of what they actually did, I would have been infinitely more interested in the game, but they didn't, so it was stupid. If Snow had actually, or if Hope had actually killed Snow, game would have been super interesting.
Well, they couldn't have done that because Snow's one of the main characters. However,
Doesn't matter.
However, if Hope had actually stabbed Snow, that would have made something interesting.
Yeah, that actually might have boosted the story a bit.
It's like, oh shit!
Because
This kid,
let's think about what that would have done. For one, Snow's out of the game. Game's already way better.
Well, I don't know. Okay, Snow I didn't absolutely hate. It's just okay. Go Snow.
Thing number two that would have happened is that Hope would now be a murderer, which is okay, but it makes him a little more interesting. Third,
it also
is
means he actually has some balls.
He spends the rest of the game trying to deal with the fact that he's made an incorrect decision
reminds me.
and has to come to terms with what he's done,
freaking reminds
immediately
me.
making his development more interesting.
That freaking reminds me. In battle, one of the most annoying sounds that I remember, and the one I made fun of the most, besides Fang's, was the sounds Hope made. And I shit you not, one of the sounds he made was or just like
Using Hope in battle, I sure hope you guys don't do this.
Oh, I used him because he's the best magic, or he has the best magic stat. So I
Wasn't
just stuck him.
enough to
I
get
stuck
you
him as
switched.
an AI. It's like, all right, you're synergist, ravager, medic. That's all you're doing.
Wasn't enough to get me a switch.
One character that I thought would have made the story better if they removed was Lightning, but unfortunately they did that for 13.2 and it just fucked the story up even worse.
Exactly, it made no sense whatsoever. Okay, Razzle, you have no fucking clue how correct
You're right,
this
I
guy
don't,
is.
and I'm never gonna know.
You have no clue. you don't know how
People
right this
dislike-
guy is.
People dislike Lightning. Let's remove her from the story. Okay.
Fuck, they removed Lightning.
Not in my canon.
They literally removed her from the story.
Why did people not like Lightning? Like, she was probably the second least offensive outside of Fang.
Because she was Cloud.
I just found her
Yeah, but she like barely
sucky.
said anything most of the time.
To me,
Like, at least she was quiet.
no, well, yeah,
least-
but the few times she actually, said stuff in flashbacks
a
and
dick.
cutscenes and whatnot.
She was a dick.
I just found her personality to be rather sucky.
I
And even in
love
Dissidia
how
Duodecim, when she starred in that as as a new character, even then her personality sucked.
She's a jerk.
I
Yeah.
love how she starts warming up about halfway through the game. She starts getting a little bit more positive,
And then it
But
just stops.
for the entire first half, all the characters are like, yeah, we can do this except for Hope and Lightning. Everybody's like,
Lightning's like, oh, you need to plan all this shit. Oh, fuck you. You
Lightning's
can't do
like,
this.
you guys are
let's just
retarded.
go at it. And then all of a sudden, it's Hope and Lightning that are being the ones who are saying, we can do this. We can save Sarah. We can save the world. And it's Snow, Vanille, Fang, and Saz who are all like, fuck this. We're screwed. It's
because
like
they need there to be drama.
the characters
Drama.
completely changed halfway through the game. They
Yeah,
swapped.
that's a funny thing is that like you were talking about like Vanille being like afraid of Saz. That was really funny because that didn't even happen up until a part of the game where they were like, all right, there's nothing going on here in terms of plot. What can we have happen? How about Vanille killed Saz's son? Oh, that's good. That's good. We need to completely change her character though. That's fine. Whatever. Just do it.
You're actually right because she didn't seem to be afraid of Saz.
No, she was
for the first
totally
half,
fine up until
they show that cutscene. Once they show that cutscene, there's tension between the two characters.
Yeah, you're like,
It's like, oh,
what's
I
going
gotta
on
chase
between
her down
Vanille
in
and
Sheepgrass.
Saz?
Oh, but I can't do it, so let me kill myself. Oh, I can't do that either. Oh, summon. Hey, this is a pretty sweet-ass summon.
And then he realized
Bitchin'
he had a
transformation.
car, and everything was gonna be okay.
Yeah, man, I got a
Dude.
sweet-ass ride. This summon's bitchin'. I'm out of here.
Dude, what would you think if you woke up one morning after you were going to kill yourself and there was a new car in your driveway? What would you think about that?
No,
The car
not
turned
just
into a
any
robot,
car.
which you
A
could
car
ride on
that
his
spouted
shoulder.
flames and could transform into this awesome giant that just like protected you and just like shot everything.
Dude, if
That's
they
right.
want Saz to
Let's
kill
do
himself,
it.
that's the
I'd
best
be like,
thing they could have
fuck
done.
yeah!
I wouldn't want to kill myself
Let's
if I
do
had
it.
that thing.
Final Fantasy XIII.
I love
Final
that
Fantasy
transformation so much.
You know
A
what?
mature
You know what?
discussion of
Let's
mature
just
subject
spend
matter.
last few minutes of this call just talking about 13.2. Just
Well, okay, I'll see you guys later.
no. You're still in this. You
I don't know
gotta.
anything about it.
What happened?
I don't know. I'm still here.
I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm here.
All right. But yeah. So, you seriously have to listen to some of this stuff. We need like an honest reaction from someone who has no experience with this. So it's like, what should we talk about? I mean, like there's just like so much crap going on in that game. It's just like I just kind of like ignored it after a while. It just became white noise.
It's
I mean,
like
we already
trying
talked
to
about the
put-
proto-falsy. That was retarded.
Oh god. Final Fantasy 13-2 story.
What story? Oh, Jesus Christ. I mean,
My favorite part of that game is the most depressing part because I actually felt bad for part of it. It's a part that you have to do. I'm not going to spoil it. You have to actually take part in conducting the most depressing part of the game. But
I don't know.
it's done so well that I liked it.
I don't know. You kind of already spoiled the ending for me somewhat, so it's like
No,
whatever.
I spoiled the main base ending, but I haven't spoiled all of the good parts that could potentially be bad, including the Deus Ex Machina. You just have to play it to see it.
I don't know if I. Well, actually, I'm actually kind of stuck on stuff because it's like, oh, find the graviton cores.
The graviton cores. Listen, just look up a guide online. That's
Yeah,
what
I'm just gonna get to the point where it's like, you know what?
I can tell you
I'm
that there's one in 05 AF or 05 AF that is in the ruins. You have to use a chocobo to get it.
Dude, I
Wait
tried
a minute.
using a chocobo to get to the one place I haven't been able to yet, and it can't do fuck all.
You.
Oh wait,
you're
no,
just given, like,
wait,
free
hold
reign
on.
Of the
I
time
might
zones in which you have to find something.
Yeah.
actually have to.
That sucks.
Oh, you
But
have no fucking clue.
granted, these are only the storyline time zones. So if you haven't actually done any of the extra stuff, then it's a lot easier to find them.
That's ironic.
I know.
Let's see.
I think it actually lists that there might be one there. I'm not sure. Like you have a way of tracking them. That's right. They do give you a list.
Yeah, they give you a list of like where they all are. It's like, oh, it's here, but well, that's actually something retarded in itself. It's like Yeah, so our scientists use resonance imaging to find these graviton cores, which will allow us to float a new cocoon up into the sky.
No, it's okay, guys. I know we said everything was going to be fine the first time you played Final Fantasy XIII and saved the world, but this time, it's really going to be fine. And you're
Oh,
gonna save
alright,
the
now
world.
that I say cocoon, that's just unleashed a whole bunch of stuff. Alright, apparently when they made a whole bunch of crystal around cocoon and everything to keep it from crashing into the ground, apparently that's not permanent and it wears down over time.
Yes, in fact, there's a giant
It was
red
like,
thing called a flan that's trying to deteriorate the crystal
oh,
that
what is
Hope
like?
is trying to stop.
It's like there was like one.
Not
No, it
Hope,
was snow. It was snow. Yeah, it was like its first form is like called the what was it? Giant? No, it was like the royal ripeness or whatever. No,
Yeah.
it was the giant mutant tomato, something like that.
Wait, so there's a really big, significant villain in this game, and it's a flan?
No,
No. The
no. You
significant,
would think the
villain
collapse
is,
of Cocoon.
Caius.
You would think the collapse of Cocoon would be like, the main thing you have to try and stop in the game, but apparently not. Apparently it's fairly low on the list of priorities in this game.
So it's like kind of a jokey side mission, like, oh, that's no, trying to protect everyone alive.
No, but they would have fallen
It is
anyways.
and it isn't.
Cocoon would have fallen anyways. The flan was just speeding it up.
Yeah. It's like,
I mean,
oh,
700
hey, at
years
this
of-
rate of wind erosion against crystal, magic crystal.
You'd be surprised over 700 years how much erosion can affect stuff. So,
And, I'm surprised that Hope even had the idea to come up with a or with a human-made or man-made foul seed, despite seeing firsthand and actually stopping firsthand after the first freaking game how badly that went the first time. And you know what was even more retarded? He actually used stuff from previous falsies to make that.
oh yeah, that's right. I forgot about that.
Hold on, I'll be right back. You guys keep discussing, but
Well, I guess it's just you and me left to discuss the game I haven't played.
Oh boy. I can't get over that proto fallacy. That thing just made me angry.
I don't even know.
For half of the game, that was the entire plot. Oh, there's a
And-
proto fallacy. Kill it. And then you kill it. It's like, okay, what's next? Hey, let's go find Caius. Okay.
Do you have any friends that smoke weed?
Of course. I go to college.
I do too. Have you ever had any of your friends try to convince you to do weed by telling you their awesome weed stories?
that's pretty much 13-2, isn't it?
That's 13-2 is for me. Like, here's my interpretation of like every weed story I've ever heard. It's like, dude, you gotta smoke weed with me and my friends, dude. We were sitting in this room, and I swear to God, I was looking at the walls for like 10 minutes.
Dude,
but
listen
it
to this
felt
guy.
Like
He
was
nailed
way
it.
Longer.
nailed it.
He nailed it.
13-2.
He nailed 13-2.
Like, nothing you're saying makes any sense.
Did you tell him any spoilers while I was gone?
No.
Oh.
Like, that's everything you're saying. Like, oh, and then you're traveling through time, and then you've got to save the proto-falsy, but you've got to do it by
No,
going
you
in
gotta
the
kill
past
the
and not
proto-falsy
building the
because-
proto-falsy.
Granted, staring at the walls is a lot more fun than playing these two games. Well, no, playing 13-2 is
I don't know.
fun.
13-2
Watching
is actually
story.
more of an actual game, like an actual JRPG.
It's just the story is terrible.
The story is batshit insane, and even then, I probably prefer playing some of the older Final Fantasies over this. 13-2, 13. All right, I think we're done here. Let me just pull up the main panel here. Come on.
Final Fantasy XIII.
Oh, there it is. All right, so
Greatest game ever created by mankind, presented by Michael Bay. Written by Tom Hanks.
Final
Because
Fantasy
why not?
13. Final Fantasy 13 2. We're done. We're done with this series. It's
What
over.
else is there to be said about
Until Final Fantasy 13 3 and Final Fantasy Versus 13, where Versus 13 has something to do with lightning.
I don't
heard
understand
Versus
that
was
reasoning
canceled.
whatsoever,
I
and
think
it is
I know.
stupid.
The basis behind Final Fantasy Versus 13 is that these nations have control of these crystals, and these crystals could be l'Cie that have crystallized, and the fallacy died. I think lightning is one of the l'Cie. Or one
All
of
right,
the
we're
the
definitely
crystals.
ending on that note, because we're reaching 13-2 territory again. Anyway,
I've heard Versus was canceled.
No, it's not.
They said no.
Like I said, I'm just thinking it's a possibility. That's not a spoiler from 13-2.
Yeah.
Look, people turn in the crystal in Final Fantasy 13 and 13-2. Final Fantasy Versus 13 has crystals as
Man, what
their
if
main
like
thing.
the cocoon was a crystal?
Yeah, we're stopping now.